As a beginner in any sport, there are some mistakes that you can make at early stage that can cost you your career. Now I want you to listen to the 5 most common mistakes that youth water polo players are making and how to avoid them. And if you do that correctly, that will save you years later, and that will give you the opportunity to play professional or collegiate water polo. So first of all, we need to focus that in this early stage when we are 10, 12, 14, 15, we need to start liking the game. So we need to start enjoying it, because we cannot get the burnout when we are 12. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to practice for 6 hours when we are 16, for 6 hours a day, I mean. So let's explore the most common mistakes that are happening in the younger ages. The first one, and really important one, is caring about the letter in front of your team more than a playing time. I always say it's always better to play for the worst team in the world and have the playing time rather than being in the number 1 team and you're just sitting on the bench. Because when you're younger, you need experience in the water. You need to understand how you are behaving in different kinds of situations, and you actually need to understand what kind of situations can happen in the sport. And that is really the crucial part of your athlete development. Without that, there is no drills, there is no lessons, there is no trainings that you can get if you don't get in-game experience. So, the letter in front of the team really doesn't matter. B team doesn't mean that you failed, C team doesn't mean you failed. The only success rate that you can get is how much playing time you're getting at every game. So, the most important thing for you is to get playing time. It really doesn't matter if you're playing for A, B, or C team. The next part is really believing that strength is actually more important than technique, and opposite of those, because sometimes when we are 12 or 14, some athletes are developing earlier, some athletes are developing later, but when you come to the age of 18 or 19, most likely all of you will be almost the same strength, but there will be like 10% up or down, also based on the position. But what you want to focus in the beginning is really understanding why behind every drill, and really understanding how the technique is in all of the parts of the game. So make sure that whatever you're doing, you understand the technique and you're executing it correctly. Strength alone won't give you anything, and on the other side, when you start growing up as a player, technique alone won't give you everything, so you will still need to build both strength and technique. But in the younger age, the technique is the key. You need to be focusing on understanding and how to execute every single drill in really detail, because that will help you a lot in the future. The next part is, more goals I score, better it is. It's not always the case. Sometimes we're going to be playing against weaker teams where you're going to be able to score way more goals, but it really doesn't show the proof of your success. You need to be analyzing your own games in terms if you could have done something better, and then if you have the opportunity to be playing against a weaker team, use that to try some new drive, use that to try a new pass. But don't be a selfish person with the ball who is just trying to score more and more against those weaker teams, because when you become a player who is playing at a competitive level, you won't be able to be scoring 15 goals a game. And it really doesn't matter if you do that while you're 12 or 14. In this age, you need to be focusing on playing time, getting the proper technique, and trying new things in the game. But just being selfish with the ball and just scoring more and more will just make you not a good energy in your team, and you will just have a fake feeling of that you did something really well where it wasn't just that high level. The next very common mistake that we can see is that sometimes in the younger age, the shot that looks inappropriate is a little bit stronger at the moment, but that shot is not going to work when you become even 14 or 15. That is the moment when you need to have the proper shooting technique. So don't push the ball just to have a stronger shot because it is stronger at the moment. You need to have the proper shooting technique from the very young age. Even if the shot feels a little bit weaker when you are 12, if you do it correctly, believe me that over the years, when that becomes your muscle memory, that your shot is actually proper technique, that will be way stronger than if you are doing incorrect technique. So I saw a lot of players that when they're 12, they're basically pushing the ball in incorrect way and they have stronger shot than other teammates at that moment. But when you become 13, 14, it's already obvious that you're not going to be going further with that shot because goalies understand that it's not that powerful anymore as if you had the regular technique, which is proper. So very soon, after a year or two, those incorrect, stronger shots are becoming invisible and players are losing confidence, and it's really hard to get the proper shooting technique at that moment, and most of the players who face this problem are quitting by the end. And the last part, which is probably the key if you're going to like or don't like the game, is speaking with the coaches and speak with the teammates. First of all, you need to be open with your coach. You need to be understanding what is your role in the team, and you need to be asking the coach what is expected from you in every game. And in that case, you will understand if you delivered what you had to do or you did not. So basically, it really helps if you're speaking to your coach about any questions you have, any concerns, because coaches also like that. They see that you're interested in improving the game, but on the other side, you're also making your life simpler in understanding what are your expectations that you need to meet. On the other hand, you need to speak with your teammates, not in terms of just being friends and speaking. It's just speaking about the game as well, listening what kind of passes they would like to receive, when they would like to receive the ball in the game, what kind of the offense, the defense action they would like to play. And you need to communicate all the time because nothing here is already set. There are some rules that are supposed to be already set there in place, but basically you need to speak with your teammates about everything that is happening in the game. And always during the game you need to encourage them. After the game or before the game, you can do some technical feedback to them or explain them the way that you want some of the things to be happening in the game. On the other side, with the coaches, you need to always be accepting the feedback that they're sharing with you and also asking for it. And then in the game, you need to be calling the zone. You need to be asking for the ball whenever you're able for the shoot. And all of those things are really important, that you need to be speaking both with your teammates and with your coaches. So by implementing the things that, first of all, you need to be able to like the game. You don't receive the burnout when you are 12 or 14. You start liking the game. You're speaking with the coaches and teammates. You need to be focusing on technique over than a strength. You need to be getting a playing time, so you want to get more and more experience in the game, and all of those things will add up and they will make you a really player with a good base that is able to improve further to become eventually collegiate or a professional water polo player. So these are the key elements which will keep you to be focused on the priorities in the younger age, and that will help you a lot in focus on the right things, which will eventually end up in giving you to be a collegiate or professional water polo player.